what's this, the one show? No, this is the second thing of Cariad, live Thursday at Cariad. So, welcome and hello from us. My name is Lee, obviously Lee the shop here, and this is Mr. Palladino, Mark. Hello. Okay, and Mark has a passion for the very thing you're watching this for, and that's drums. So we have with us this evening some Ludwigs, and we have some UFIP cymbals, so we're going to talk about them as well. First of all, Mr. Marc Palladino here has a brother that might be well known in the old bass guitar sort of field, a little bit. It's a Pino Palladino. So if he watches this later down the line, we are not that interested in Pino, I'm sorry, because the bass is nice, it's nice, but it's not that.
Leave that to the bassist show.
Yeah, exactly. So we're interested in Mark, why he loves drums, what he does, and what he's doing at the moment. He lives in Cardiff, in South Wales, because we actually have some people from America, and getting popular in the Philippines, I believe.
Fantastic, right?
That's what I've been told, according to the analytics. Mrs. Analytics says you're popular in the Philippines. Oh, okay then. So if you're in the Philippines and you're watching, hello, that's marvellous, marvellous. Right then, so Mark, first of all, Palladino, so what country? Where are you from? Originated?
Well, Italy. I'm born in Wales, but I'm a Welsh Italian.
There you go.
Is how I describe myself.
And again, for those who don't live in the UK, Welsh Italian is a big thing, isn't it?
It's a big thing, yeah.
South Wales. Yeah. So in South Wales, many people worked as miners, and a lot of Italians came over, didn't they? Because they serviced that. Italians knew where the money was. And it was called Black Gold, and they would come. They opened ice cream parlours with their bracky shops and so on. Coffees. Yeah, fish and chips, cafes, lots of cafes throughout South Wales at the time. So on about food, we'll deal with that first of all. Food, you own your own restaurant.
I'm in the food business. I own a restaurant. We opened it back in 1986 with my dad and my sister at the time, and we've been going ever since. Really, pizza and pasta, Italian food.
And the name for the customers?
It's called Pizzeria Villaggio in Whitchurch, Cardiff.
Isn't that marvellous? So look that up. If I can, when I come to do this, I'll try and put the link on underneath when I tidy the video up and so on. So pizzas, I mean, come on, innit? Yeah. This is why we said that he's more important than Pino, you see, because Mark has a passion for drums, but he can also feed you as well because he loves Italian food.
Yes. What more could you want?
What more could you want?
Music and food.
Exactly, exactly. So we're going to talk, rugby. We said the rugby, and I told him not to tell me, but if Wales are playing Italy, who is it?
It's a tough one. But I've always said, when it comes to rugby, I support Wales. When it comes to football, I'm Italian.
Oh.
Sorry, it might be a cop-out.
That's all right,
I also said if Wales do lose to Italy, then I'm happy as well.
Yeah.
Because it's a great result.
Yeah. Good.
Italians.
Yeah, lovely. My wife, again, Italian, but you were born here, as you said, only my wife was the same. Her parents came over, so she will shout Italia. Times Italia. Yeah. But she lets me watch Wales play.
If I was in with a load of Welsh fans, I would be shouting for Italy.
Yeah. No, good stuff. So it's really nice. Italy, a beautiful place. We like to go there. You go there, and you speak Italian as well.
I speak Italian. I try to get there at least once a year. You know?
Now there are some Italian family on my side that watch this.
Right.
So what do we say? Come stai?
Buonasera e benvenuti.
Ah, beautiful. I've tried so many times to learn a little, and I'm just hopeless. I struggle with English, yet learn anything else. So there we go. If we get experienced at this, as I said, boys and girls, if you want to, you can try and leave a little comment and say hello. We got somebody here. Look at that. This is last week I didn't have anybody, so we're improving. Peter Lamb, bear with me. Let me turn my Bluetooth off. It's picked up on the speakers. Peter Lamb, now he bought the beautiful Ludwig that I was telling you about earlier, classic maple. Owen is a plumber that's local to us, so great. And Temporary Chaos, hi all. Well, hello. There's a few. And Dusty Miller.
Good evening.
So look at that. I told you. I said one man and his dog now, and in about 6 months, 2 men and their 2 dogs. We'll get there, we'll get there. We beat the one show for the weekends now. Now my thing is completely stopped now, so we don't worry about that. None of this is scripted, as you can tell, boys and girls, but we don't care. So your band, I meant to have asked you about your band.
Okay, I'm in a band, Red Hot Pokers. They've been going for probably 40 years. I haven't been playing with them for 40 years. I've been with them for about the last 15. But Red Hot Pokers, Ned Edwards, Pete Hurley, they worked with Van Morrison for many years. Ned being a band leader with them. But we're still out, we're just going to a few local gigs. Not many, but only the nice places where people actually enjoy listening to music rather than a bunch of drunks.
Yeah, I think everybody touches base with that, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
To play drums, to play music is such a beautiful thing, but if you turn up to the wrong place and everybody's already drinking crazy and whatever, you just think, oh, honestly, you know.
But like Ned says, it's a waste of electric.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So to play in a nice place, and unfortunately, it's not always that easy to find either, is it?
No,
decent
very
places.
few and far between.
Yeah. Many years ago, again, if you're not from this part of the world, many years ago, when the mines were very strong, and even just after that, there was an awful lot of clubs when they would want the rock and roll, isn't it? Loads. There was non-politicals and Labour clubs, Conservative clubs, etc. And
music scene,
Saturdays, Fridays, and then the husband and wives all wanted to go out and dance, have their beer, do a bit of bingo. Yeah. So there was loads and loads of work for many musicians.
Every village in the valley was that.
Yeah, loads and loads, and again, that's all died off, which is sad. So
it is sad, yeah.
It is tough, yeah.
Different world.
Yeah. So right then, these little babies called UFIP cymbals. And this is Italian, okay? I know it's United Fabbricata, which means to manufacture, isn't it? I always forget the other part, so I do apologise. But anyway,
I can't help you.
No, exactly. Why not? So UFIP cymbals. I like UFIP. I have a fondness for them, and obviously you do.
I do.
One of the reasons being
because they're Italian.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're as good as any cymbal out there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Probably better.
Yeah.
You know?
So they're handmade in Italy and they are great. Now then, Mark doesn't even know this. These have a patent of the manufacturing process to make the cymbals. And that is, they make them upside down. Now, how you traditionally make a pizza, a cymbal, it's like, bear with me, I'll explain why I said pizza. You get a pound coin like that. So when you pour your hot metals, obviously it's a bit bigger than that. So you get your molds of clay, they mix their bronzes and so on together, and then you pour them in. So you end up with basically a larger version of a pound coin. And then what you do is you roll it out, and then you flick it over and you roll it out. So you end up with a bigger pizza, which is a flat disc now of metal that has been mixed from mixed bronzes and so on. Then what you have to do is you have to spin and form the bell of the cymbal. So you lift it up that way or whichever way, and as you're spinning it, you're trying to press that bell to shape it. The problem is the thickness of the metal then, when you're pressing it, around the entrance of the bell there, it stretches the metal, and that can be a weak point. So what UFIP have, which they're the only ones in the world to be able to do, I believe they make, I'm sure, because I went there and I seen them, and they always came out that way. But what they have is a spinning rotary die. So when they pour the metal into the center, they have a mold that's the exact shape of every cymbal they make. So whether it's a splash to a crash, they put each mold in, they pour the metal, they heat it up, they pour it in, and that's already spinning like a lunatic, right round. So the beauty of that is that when they then pull this out of the mold, it's the exact shape of the cymbal, including the bell. So of course, when they lathe and process, they don't end up with a weaker point. It's consistent throughout. But the other reason that these are really good for that is that in metal, as we know, when you pour metals, it can end up with dross. We call it slag or dross because of the heat. So naturally, the dross and slag will come to the surface, and the pure metal is white hot inside. But of course, when you pour it into a mold and you're pressing it, there's a risk you're putting some of that back in. But when that's spinning, by pouring it, of course, it's centrifugal force. So it removes the dross, but also any risk of air bubbles. and that's why they're so good.
Right.
So they spin it, they do it, they unclip, whack, and they put it down. And it looks exactly like that, but black.
Very interesting.
Black as anything. And then I've seen them lathing, it's fabulous. They put it on, and then you've got your lathe man, and there he is, and he's got like a wooden block on the lathe, and he puts it on, he goes, and he works like that, and you just see this swirl of metal coming off, and it comes out like that. Fantastic. So they're world known for the splashes especially, and obviously I like them. I like the 1931s that I've got on here, because I find they're not too loud. They don't take your head off when you play them. So for a singer or for a band, they blend in with what you're playing. So that the drums and the cymbals balance more. That's why I like them. I've fallen in love with the natural series, but 15-inch hats that you tried earlier, didn't you? And it allows, as I said, to create a really good quality bell for the ride cymbals and so on. Some of the bells actually on the crashes are better than I find on other makes as a ride. Really, really nice. Okay, so check them out. They're on our website. They are brought into the UK by a company called Music Shipping, a chap called Craig Fenny, lovely guy, Craig. He's been really supportive of Cariad from the beginning, really good guy. So I wanted to give a shout out to him and say thank you, Craig, for everything you've done for us. But you can go on Music Shipping, check their website, look at all the cymbals that are available, or our website. However, the deal is, if you go on to their website and find a cymbal you want, if you buy it from us, we sell it at a discount, whereas Craig holds the price, so that we as a shop can work as a partnership. So we'll always be cheaper. Okay? So that's that. Now then. Lovely. And you're going to touch them after. So hang on in there, folks. Now then, the reason that we put Ludwig out again, because they were here the first week, and now they're the second week again, is because of you.
I play Ludwig,
Yeah. So again, what did you start playing? What sort of kits? What sizes and so on?
My first drum kit was just a basic Olympic kit. I think I was about 12 years old. Which just, I think it was an 18-inch bass drum. I can't even remember. An 18-inch bass drum, 12-inch tom-tom, and I think it might have been this 13-inch snare. I can't even remember them anymore. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I swapped that. I think my father bought me another kit then later on. I think he bought a kit for somebody, for Pino's band. He was managing their band for a while. He bought a kit for their drummer, and for some reason he wasn't allowed to have it by his father. So I inherited that kit, and that was a Heyman kit, which I used that for years, playing around all the gigs, around the valleys, all the social clubs and stuff. And that one got nicked. I left it somewhere.
Don't come to Wales, you won't have a drum kit.
Yeah, so it was nicked. So I then went into the restaurant business with my father, so I didn't play for years. I just concentrated on that with him. That was a condition laid down to me by my dad.
How much of a gap? How many years did you not play?
It's probably really about 20 years.
Is it? And I'm 15.
Yeah.
I stopped for a different reason, but it's a bit of life, the universe and everything, and I come to a stop, and then life just moves, doesn't it?
Yeah.
15 years later, my wife's saying you should play, and I said I can't, it's too addictive. I'll end up wanting to do more, and she encouraged me, and then this all kicked off.
Yeah.
So it's a big gap, isn't it? But
It is a big gap.
But I've seen you playing, obviously you're playing, I think it's lovely anyway. It's because you're Italian, so. Yeah. And because he's bigger than me, I've got to say.
No, so my second kit was a Heyman kit, which got nicked. And then I left it for many years, and then I just wanted to get back into playing again. A few things didn't go my way in business. So I wanted to get back into drumming, and the kit I always wanted was a Ludwig Super Classic. Nice. And the newest thing to that was a classic maple. Yeah. So I bought myself a classic maple kit. Yeah. And we playing that, and I added to that, and I bought another kit last week with a Ludwig kit again, but it's a late 70s Ludwig. I'm not sure which actual, what it's called, but it's a thermogloss, 24-inch bass drum, nice. 13 tom, 14 tom, 16 floor, and I love it.
And you said 22 minimum for you, innit?
22 minimum. My classic maple is white marine pearl, which is beautiful. It's 22, 12, 14, 16.
Nice.
Lovely.
And the funny thing is, I'm doing a review on this one, This is the Taiwanese one. This is not sold in America. It's only sold in Europe, I believe. But so it's the Centennial. But 24-inch bass drum again, and I love it to bits.
Yes.
I've used a lot of 20-inch bass drums because of convenience. But every time the 22 and 24, I agree with you. For some reason, it hits you in the heart. Whereas I find a 20 more practical, but a little dry.
Yeah.
And as soon as I sit down, I'm like,
Yeah.
I've always said a Ludwig 24 to me is like going to America, sitting in a Ford Mustang, drop the top down, put my wife next to me, and we go V8. Because I'd be going like that with that car all the time. Listen to this, sweet. And then she'd be going, yeah. And every time I'd say, listen to this now, Joe. Listen to this. And I feel like I'm with them.
The bottom end.
Yeah, there's something about it. It just gives me that, wow. And then you want to go in the tunnel and rev the engine. Yeah. So, excellent. So, that's what we thought we would mention. Again, look, I'm sorry I haven't looked at the comments now because my tablet decided to play it along the way. But it's been great. Look, it's all we're going to do, 20 minutes with people, customers, you know, folk that have gone through some good times and hard times in life. Yeah. But again, you know, the love of this. So one or two last little questions. You used to play along with your brother, didn't you?
Yes, we used to play together as children. Well, I was about 12 and Peter was about 15 or 16. He was always way ahead of me, obviously. But we used to play together all the time, you know.
Did you used to fight?
Before he moved on.
Did you fight as brothers? Me and my brother, like cat and dog.
A little bit. I used to fight more with my younger brother. But we used to fight a little bit with Pino, but he was...
Could you still take him now?
I love you too much.
Tell him.
I love him too much.
I love you, Pino, but I can still take you, bro.
Yeah,
you've got to do that. You've always, it's brother stuff, isn't it? You know?
He was a tough boy, Pino, wasn't he?
Yeah. Good stuff. So that, and why did you fall in love with drums then? Why not guitars or whatever? It's a bad word.
I think when I was a youngster, I was always tapping. Pino used to play the guitar. He was playing Spanish guitar. It was his first instrument. But I was always at home tapping my hands and tapping my feet. And my father, he said to me, I'm going to buy you some drums.
Lovely.
You tap all the bloody time, you've got to play the drums.
Love it.
So that's what he did. He bought me some drums.
Batteria in Italian, isn't it?
Pardon?
Batteria.
Batteria.
Batteria, yeah. Not cod.
No, batteria.
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 And that's what it is, you just fell for them then,
yeah? Yeah, and then I was I wish I'd had lessons. I never had lessons.
Yeah.
Self-taught, but, you know, it's a bit of a hindrance, but it's good in some ways as well.
Yeah, it can, if you search for feel and you're searching for it, it also gives you something as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So there's pros and cons both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But fantastic, look. So thank you. Oh, we've got to mention Yard, haven't we? Yard. Thank you, Yard, because Yard is a very skilled man. He techs for so many of the people classes, the stars, you know, the big
Steve Gadd,
yeah. But all the big guys. But you know, the way I view it from our point of view, we're a little Cariad, you know, we were always the little tiny boy in the block, as it were. We slowly grow and develop. Yeah, passion is not a problem. But, you know, we've got to work hard for our back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Yard, again, it's surprising when you see someone who's skilled in his job and is involved in the industry to that extent, just giving you a thumbs up. Yeah. It's like, wow, hold on a minute. And it means the world, you know, and we've messaged once or twice, and he's been really kind. And his other guys, really, really kind to us. And other manufacturers, so I will mention them week by week, who's doing what. And it means, you know, it means the world. And we pass that on, innit?
Yeah.
You've been great, you've been a customer, Mark's been buying UFIPs, he comes up from Cardiff, spends time with us, and it means a lot to us. So I want to stretch us back to all the customers and say, let's go on the one show together. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to invite Mark to come off his very posh rock and sock seat that we had in yesterday from a customer, funny enough. And this is a lovely seat as well, by the way. These are the Shaw Target ones, look at that. So if you want to buy any of these products, don't forget, jump online for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, Mark, very much indeed.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks for
really
having me.
Appreciate that. Jump on the kit for there a second. And what we're going to do, Mark's just going to have a little tap, and then I'm going to slowly walk around the block, and I'm going to just switch off. Thanks again, even if you're watching this after the live thing, really appreciate your involvement with us. Thank you very much. Visit the website. See you next Thursday. Off you go, Mark.